Welcome, eSIM Studios. Glad to have you in for our, what is this, episode number 11 for our daily tech news. I do appreciate you joining us, and we have a few technology topics that we are going to get into, and some interesting ones, some ones that involve Samsung, obviously. We also have Google News, we have Pixel News, and OnePlus News as well. So we will get into that right now. I just shared the link on our social media accounts, and we will get rolling, right? Okay. Now, let's go. We are good to go. Alrighty. Okay. So, update with our Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. I think it ships tomorrow. Paid for overnight shipping, so we should have it here on Wednesday. And we're going to do a number of testing. I have a ton of cases on the way. In fact, I was just in contact with a number of the case manufacturers that we are partnering with on this device, making sure they get all their latest and greatest cases shipped out to us. Make sure we have nothing but hot fire to present to y'all as far as cases. Now, I have cases, screen protectors, case reviews, screen protector reviews. I got a couple other accessories up my sleeve that we're going to review, unbox for that device. And then once we get all those rolling, we're going to start comparing these S24 Plus versus the Pixel versus the Nothing phone versus the S23 Ultra. We're going to test last year's flagship device, the S23 Ultra, with this year's S24 Plus cameras. Now, I know it's not quite a fair comparison, but you'll get to see how much progress, if any progress, has been made in the sensor image quality department. But let's see what else we got. I do have OnePlus news. I was just about to let y'all know. I'm gonna review as well. I'm gonna record a unboxing and review of these Soundpeats Bluetooth earbuds. We got those coming up probably tomorrow. I'll probably do a video of this, review of those. We also have, we don't do too much PC reviews, computer reviews, but I do have something badass. A mini PC that performs better than 99% of desktops that are 10 times the size of it. So we're getting that in this week. And going to expand my video editing on this channel. I'm going to basically continue live streams, a daily live stream, but I'm also going to step up my video editing for my pre-uploads, for my pre-recorded uploads. We're gonna I got some other devices coming in, some overhead views, where when I am doing unboxings, you'll get a view of me and also a view down below what we're unboxing. So just trying to take our channel to the next level. But let's get into. So I came across something, and I'm going to give these away for free on the channel. So stay tuned with that. But with the S24, now, as you know, you might have not known, but Samsung has their Find My, what is it called? What is it? It's called Smart Things. Sorry. Samsung Smart Things. That was their Samsung application that you could basically pair all of your Samsung devices and a majority of other Android devices and basically help them communicate between each other, not only inside your home, but outside your home. So on the Smart Tags 1, the first generation of Samsung's version of the AirTag, Apple's AirTag, you would have to go into the SmartThings app, locate it, register your devices, stuff like that. Well, Samsung just came out with Smart Tags 2, and it's the next level, next generation of the Find My device, so to speak, if everybody's familiar with Apple devices, with their Find My device. Well, Samsung's doing the same thing. Now, good news and bad news. Samsung with this Smart Tag, I wish it was available to all Android devices, because I don't like how they exclude all other devices, right? So there's this new Smart Tags 2 will perform just like Apple's AirTag, where you can basically locate wherever that tag is, whatever you have it attached to, whether it's a luggage, a briefcase, a bike, whatever, your car, you'll be able to locate it. Now I'm talking about this new Smart Tag 2 with your Samsung device. But what takes it to the next level is on the first generation, you had to be like within like 100 feet of it, right? So basically in and around your area, your home, your office, whatever. This new Smart Tag 2 is going to be like Apple's AirTag, where it actually uses other people's phones to locate your tag, right? So, for example, if you have an iPhone with an AirTag, let's say you put it on a bike, the AirTag on a bike, and let's say your kid goes out riding their bike. Now, if they didn't have a phone with them, they just had the AirTag attached to their bike, you would be able to see where they were, no matter if they were a mile away, 10 miles away, 100 miles away, literally anywhere in the world. And you can locate it because that AirTag is pinging off of other people's iPhones. Now, it's a process that runs in the background, and there's certain information where there's some third-party apps where you can tell if your iPhone is being used to pin or to ping an AirTag. So it uses other people's iPhones to locate that AirTag. When that AirTag gets within 100 feet of another iPhone, boop, it picks it up, and then you can see it on your map. Well, Samsung's going to do the same thing with their new Smart Tags 2. But here's the thing. Apple is the most popular phone here in America. So it may not be... And now look, Samsung is probably the most popular Android phone in America because look, not only do they have flagships, as we're accustomed to, right? But they also have cheaper phones, cheaper options, right? That you can... That you see in Metro, right? I think they have like the A21 or A10. They only cost a couple $100. Well, a ton of people have those, but not as many as iPhone. So we'll have to see as time goes on. Time will tell if that was a smart thing to do. I think the smarter thing to do, more accurate thing to do, is instead of Samsung just using their Smart Tags 2 to ping other Samsung phones to get location, I think they should have made it to where they ping any Android phone, and you, the user, have and should have the option in your device whether you want your device used as a locator for a Smart Tag or not. That should be your option, right? If you want to opt in, you can. If not, you can opt out. Because how Samsung's doing it, for one, it's sort of going down the Apple road, which is why one of the main reasons why I'm not a fan of Apple in the first place is because the exclusivity, right? They're so exclusive. So I'm not too happy about that, and how accurate it is. If it's only going to ping Samsung phones, what if I'm sure there's parts of town, there's parts of wherever that Smart Tag is going to be where there's just not many Samsung phones, so it might not be that accurate. Now, what is it going to show you if they're out in the middle of nowhere? right? You're out in the woods, or I mean, not in the woods, but in the country. Nobody has a Samsung phone. Well, it will show you on the Smart Things app. Well, actually, there's a new app, and we'll get into that. But it'll show you wherever it was last pinged. So wherever that bike with that smart tag was, that last came in contact or within a radius of another Samsung phone, it'll show up on the map, right? And it may be there for an hour until they finally make their way to where they ping another Samsung phone, and then it'll show that on there. But they are taking the leap. Let's look into what the app is called. I believe it's called Find My, I think. So unfortunately, it looks like they're copying what Apple is doing. Now, is it a good idea? Yes, but as I mentioned, I wish it was open to all Android phones, not just Samsung. I do have other news that has not really had an official announcement. Google is coming out with something similar. Yes, now, Google's version will include all Android phones. So now with that news, you kind of see where Samsung is going, where Samsung will have this application on Samsung devices only. But if you have a Samsung, you have an Android, right? So you can also have Google's quote unquote Find My device app and locate from that as well. And Google's going to come out with a tracker as well. I've seen the patent certifications and patent designs for Google's kind of AirTag look-alike or AirTag equivalent. So this article here says Samsung aims to compete with Apple's Find My app by introducing its own preloaded app called Samsung Find on the Galaxy S24 series, offering a streamlined phone finding experience. Now, it'll not only locate these new Smart Tag 2s, it'll also locate and find any Samsung device. Whether you have that Smart Tag, whether you have a Samsung Galaxy S24, whether you have a Samsung Galaxy Book, right? They're Ultrabooks. They're 2-in-1 Windows laptops. Any Samsung device. Now, I don't think it's going to find... Actually, I take that back. Washers and dryers. I would say it might not find them, but on the other hand, it might, because that's how one of the processes you go through is linking your Samsung washer and dryer to your Smart Things app. Samsung Smart Things app. So any Samsung electronic device will show up in that Samsung Smart Things application. It says the app allows users to track the location of their Galaxy devices, including smart tags, on the Smart Things Find network, but with a dedicated space. Samsung's Find app has 3 tabs for people, devices, and items, and offers features such as sharing locations with family and friends and a notify when left behind feature. This will be cool. Can't wait to check it out. I think I'm going to order a couple of smart tags and give them away, as I mentioned earlier. Now, it also uses, before we move on to the next, it utilizes ultra wideband Bluetooth. Now, what that is a super, super low frequency but wide expanding Bluetooth frequency. It's not super strong, but it goes out far distances, right? So it's called UWB, ultra wideband Bluetooth. Ultra wideband, I guess, is the technical term. So we will dive into that when the phone gets here this week. But now there is a feature that was shown on these Galaxy devices last week where you think they use this feature a lot. I've seen this in ads. I've seen this on other YouTube videos, YouTubers, review videos. They really promoted this a lot. But little did you know that the circle to search feature that was portrayed on Samsung devices, you can actually do that on your Pixel device. Now, some of those features they shown will eventually come to Pixel. Google and Samsung work together behind the scenes to basically develop these features and Google is adding them to their Pixels. Not all of the Samsung S24 features, AI stuff, but most of them. Now, this one requires a little trickery. Pixels are slated to get Circle to Search on January 31st, which is about a week away. However, if you want to try it right now, you can. It does involve a little tinkering. If you are familiar with Android ADB, Android debugging, if you have any history with that, this will be easy. If you don't have any history with that, it's going to require a little homework for you to do. I was debating whether or not to do a video in regards to that, but I might in the future. But it does require a computer, hooking your phone up to your computer, and changing some of the lines or some of the internal code in there. But I mean, it's not as hard as it sounds. But Google will be bringing Circle to Search to the Pixel 8 series only on January 31st. It'll start rolling out to older Pixel models as time goes on, right? Now, you can start using it right now as we speak. Other Pixel phones will get it in the future, as I just mentioned. But just to show you real quick, so here's the tinkering you got to do. You actually have to, it's called, behind the scenes in the phone, it's called omni activity, quote unquote. And it takes a simple but tedious 3-step process that where you basically do is you have to check to see if you have the Google application, a system app called CTS. It's in the version, it's in the that's the name of the version, and you can also sideload that version. So if you know how to sideload an APK, an application, it's pretty easy. You can get it up and running here in just a few minutes if you want to try it out before the 31st. Now it'll come in a update, not in a software update, but it should be an application update. So please check your phones around the first of the month or the end of the month, here in about a week, and should be available. I'll keep an eye on it and let you know, because I definitely want to test it out. Well, we'll have the Galaxy here before the 31st, but we'll check them out and compare them on both the Pixel 8 Pro and the S24 Plus. This doesn't require a root, does it? It says for Pixel devices that aren't the Pixel. Oh, if you have a Pixel 7, 7 Pro, 7a, Pixel 6, you're gonna have to root your phone, and then you can apply to it. But if you have a Pixel 8 or Pixel 8 Pro, you don't have to root it. You just have to go into Android ADB and simply, I'm gonna link this in the description box to this webpage, and then what you can do is just simply copy and paste, copy that, boom, and then paste it into ADB. Not that hard, just takes a few extra minutes. Now, speaking of Pixel, Google Messages. Now, I've been going under some changes in the past, as of recent, good changes. Google Messages are going to roll out caption support. Now, what is caption support? That's when you send a picture. Now, a lot of messaging apps have these, but Messages does not. But we're about to. It's when you send a picture or a video, you can send a caption along with it. So instead of sending a picture, boom, sent. And in RCS, you can tell if they've read it or not with the read receipts. And then after you send a picture, you send another text saying, this weekend at SeaWorld, yay, right? Well, this new feature, caption support, you won't have to send 2 separate text messages. You can upload the photo that you're going to send or video, and then you can also write in there, this weekend at SeaWorld, yay, and it'll send it all as one message, the photo and the caption. A lot of internet IO, IOVP, a lot of internet-based messaging, such as Telegram, such as WhatsApp, all already have this, right? Now, Google Messages is RCS based, obviously. It has to be implemented into the code, but they're on it, and they are going to release it here pretty soon. It says they're adding a new image captioning feature for RCS chats, allowing users to provide additional context to their shared media. Unlike popular chat apps, Google Messages currently does not support image captioning, but a flag can be force enabled to try this feature. The rollout date for this image captioning feature is uncertain, as Google does not specify timelines for upcoming changes. Okay, so there's not a specified time and date when they're going to release this and or update the application with this in it, but I can tell you it's probably going to be sooner than later. I would probably think within the next few weeks or a month we should have this. When this type of news starts to leak out, that means it's making news for a reason. It's getting leaked for a reason. So it's probably right around the corner. Okay, so OnePlus 12. I know Samsung's getting a lot of attention for their release of their latest flagship device, but don't overlook this device. I think OnePlus is making a comeback with this device. Now, what do you mean comeback? Well, OnePlus used to be a phenomenal option for anybody wanting to buy and or have a flagship experience, but not paying flagship prices, as we reviewed to death last week with the release and the shock and awe of the price of the S24 series. Yeah, OnePlus used to be I would say I love OnePlus. I would say I still like them because I'm getting excited about this launch. I still love the products. Well, I was just say love. I've kind of distanced myself. I used to have every OnePlus device, flagship device, they would release on a 6-month schedule. So now Samsung, Apple, always every year they'll put out a device. OnePlus was every 6 months. Well, they kind of got away from their heritage and their design, and it looks like this year they're coming right back with a strong bang, because this OnePlus 12 looks to be awesome. It beats a lot of flagship specs in other manufacturers and in other devices, and is simply just flat out cheaper. And I think they might, well, not might, they are going to release potentially the phone of the year. I definitely already put it on my list for candidates. But what do I mean? Well, they're releasing the OnePlus 12, as I just mentioned, and the 12R. So the 12R is like the watered down version. It's like the Pixel A series, right? 6A, 7A, and eventually 8A, where it's the same design language, same look, same feel, just with little, watered down specs to make it cheaper. Well, OnePlus took that same idea. Actually, they've had it for a long time. This is their first time releasing their R series or A series in the United States. They've had this R series globally for years. They just never brought it here because they didn't think they could sell many, right? Well, that's all changing, because I think they're going to sell a ton of these. If they can market this device, the R series, if they can actually run commercials on streaming services, even run a commercial, well, I guess NFL is almost done, but basketball, right? Run ads in sports, streaming, as I just mentioned. OnePlus needs to push this device, because this OnePlus 12R can beat, as far spec-wise, performance-wise, a lot of devices that are released this year. Because what they're doing, they're not putting like Pixel does, where a cheaper camera, well, it's last year's flagship camera they're putting in it, but they're not putting some underperforming CPU in there. They're not putting 6 gigs of RAM. They're not putting 128 gigs of storage. They're throwing a boatload in this R series. So basically the R series is new components and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 in the R series, and they're releasing it for like $500. Now I think the OnePlus 12 is going to come in maybe around $700. Now you say, well, the S24, the base S24 starts out at 700. Yeah, but they're giving you a lot more for the 700 for the regular OnePlus 12. Let's look. So this is last year's OnePlus 11, and this is this year's OnePlus 12, right? So look at the difference. Look how big the screen is going to be on this OnePlus 12. That's bigger than the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. That's bigger than the S24 Ultra. It's going to have a brighter screen. Now this is the premium device. Hang on a second. All right, I gotta go. But I want to let you know. Look at these specs of the OnePlus 12. Gen 3 is going to come 16 gigs, 512, 5400 milliamp battery with 100 watt fast charging. So you're getting a bigger battery than the S24 Ultra, a bigger screen than the S24 Ultra, a brighter screen. How bright it gets than the S24 Ultra. They're going to come with a 100 watt fast charger in the box. It'll charge from 0 to 100% in like probably 25-26 minutes. You're going to get a very good camera setup on the back. Front camera 32, right? Now look at all that. You get the OnePlus 12, all that for about $700. Now look at this, and I plan on getting the 12R, and they're released tomorrow. All right, more news on that. I'm gonna schedule a live stream for tomorrow around noon. They're gonna announce it and launch it at about 10 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to order one. We'll see if their website's gonna crash, and then we'll go live right after at about noon Central Standard Time to discuss. But just a little sneak peek. You're definitely gonna have to keep your eye on this phone. This R series, you get all this for about 400. I think it's less than 500. I don't know. It's around 450, something like that. We'll see for sure tomorrow. We're getting 6.7 inch screen. That's huge. AMOLED, 120 hertz refresh rate. It's going to have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, not a slouch. In fact, I love that processor. You're going to have up to 1 terabyte of storage. Remember, this is the watered down version. 16 gigabytes of RAM. You're going to get a 50 megapixel main lens, 8 megapixel ultra wide, front camera 16 megapixels, and then look at this. 5,500 milliamp battery with 100 watt fast charging. It's unheard of for a watered down device. So that'll be launched tomorrow. We're going to cover it, and we will see you tomorrow at about 12 p.m. noon Central Standard Time. I'm going to cover the launch. We're going to go over all the specs. We're going to go over the pricing. I'm going to try to get one. Hopefully it goes better than the Samsung experience. But join me tomorrow. I'll go ahead and put a live stream notification out here shortly about tomorrow's live stream. But join me tomorrow. Let's talk about it. Would like for you to join me up here and see what you think of it, right? So I got to get out of here. Peace out. See you tomorrow.